viewers sent into us during the height of this afternoon's earthquake, the 5.9 magnitude quake that struck the East Coast, basically centered near Richmond, Virginia. But Deborah Winger, this has been felt all the way up to New York. I understand the reports even coming out of Canada that folks have felt tremors as far north as Canada.
A huge earthquake, unprecedented for our area. Something that is history and something that we are all talking about in conversation on social media. Yeah. This is a first for us.
I heard you say earlier that, we're not used to a quake of this magnitude in this area, and most people probably didn't know what they were feeling because they've never really experienced it before. I had been in one in California.
Yeah.
Certainly not even a 5.9, but just a little. And I have to admit, I wasn't quite sure. It took me a few seconds to realize, oh, this is the real deal, and this is pretty strong.
Well, we all had the delay here, and we were at work, and we were all, doing what we do, having conversations, and Lowell was the one in our newsroom who said, it's an earthquake, let's go.
Mr. Meteorologist, right?
Mr. Meteorologist, he did, and you were telling me your story. You were
well, I do this wacky split shift, so I had just laid down about 25 minutes earlier, about 1:30, and, I sort of felt this rumbling, and I'm thinking, okay, am I dreaming here? And then I heard my wife screaming at my kids and all this running around the house, and I'm thinking, well, gee, why is she yelling at the kids? Why are they running from her? I'm thinking that's what the rumbling is. And then about another 30 seconds, it dawned on me, oh, gee, this is an earthquake, and everybody's piling down in the basement. And quite frankly, I'm not sure if that was the best thing to do in an earthquake. I don't know if we should have run outside. We're going to have some information during the course of the next couple hours of our coverage, what exactly you do in the event of an earthquake, because there is a possibility, Deborah, of some aftershocks. I understand they can last for up to a couple hours after the main quake.
They can last for actually quite some time. And as you see from our live video, people are still outside. This is still an event that people are trying to understand. They're trying to evaluate when it is safe to go back inside. And then people are, as you can see, the damage here that we reported earlier. I mean, this has affected buildings all across the area. We were hearing from Anne Arundel County about a structural collapse in a school there. So, I mean, we're still trying to get a sense of what has happened. We know that there is no catastrophic damage.
Right.
But certainly there is real damage all over the area.
Yeah, lots of reports of cracks in ceilings, cracks in walls, things being displaced around the house, glass falling, being knocked over, and just a complete... I among those that said, wow, that was almost a big one here in the Maryland area.
And the geological survey said the earthquake was 3.7 miles deep. And Ava was saying earlier, because we don't report on earthquakes that often, the depth of an earthquake raises questions on what does that mean. And essentially, Ava was saying, the deeper the quake, the more you feel it. And this is the indication of why people were feeling it so far south. And as we had postings on our Facebook here, as far as Canada.
Right.
So it's that depth of the quake and the size of it for this area that is just so unusual.
All right. Obviously, a lot of assessment going on right now as far as how safe is it right now to go back into buildings that may have been compromised because of this. Right now, we have Terry Moss from the MDTA on the phone with us. Terry, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. We're hanging in there.
So give me an assessment. We're talking bridges, larger structures around the state. Give me an assessment right now as far as you guys know.
Sure. The Maryland Transportation Authority operates the 7 toll facilities, and that includes the Bay Bridge, the Nice Bridge, Tidings Bridge, and the tunnels. We have closed the Nice Bridge shortly after the earthquake, and that was basically as a precaution because it is closer to the center of the earthquake. We do have crews that have been traveling around assessing our facilities, and we do have no indication that any damage was incurred on any of the facilities.
Okay, so are you allowing people to cross over them? They're open.
The only facility, that is closed at this time is the Nice Bridge on 301.
Okay, off 301. Okay. And how about some of the structures, buildings, things like that? Any compromised buildings that we know of?
We haven't received any indication that buildings or structures have been compromised or damaged.
Okay. We heard from Terry Owens a little earlier from the MTA about, you've got to stop trains to make sure tracks are not compromised, overpasses, bridges, things like that the trains might use. Are you in contact with MTA and coordinating with them as well?
We're in contact with the State Highway Administration at this time. We're coordinating with the Department of Transportation. So all of the transportation modes are talking to each other, and being on the same page and going out and inspecting all of their.
Okay. We were just looking at a live picture of I-70. If we can bring that picture back up of the traffic on I-70 that we just left right there. This is west of I-695. This traffic heading west, where is this heading to and why is it possibly stacked up? Is there a bridge just up ahead here?
I can't answer that. I'm sorry, Stan.
Okay.
That's a state highway road?
I'm assuming probably so.
Yeah, well, that is generally a congested area, especially at this time of day. That's what I'm
Typical rush hour?
I mean, it's never a good spot to be in around this time of day, so I don't know if it's backed up as usual or if there's a particular problem related to the earthquake. Perry, I have a question for you. From the transportation perspective, has earthquake readiness ever been on your radar screen?